Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brew here live on Brew Sports. It's a Friday edition of the program, and boy, oh boy, is the sports world decided to lose its mind since we were last on the air yesterday. I am Baxter Colburn, not joined by Jamie Ebers this morning, unfortunately. She had the awesome opportunity to go down to Chicago last night to check out the Predators-Blackhawks game last night. And got to experience all the craziness that was last night. A big win for the Predators in Game 1, and Jamie got to see it firsthand, and she just unfortunately was not able to get back in time due to travel issues, unfortunately. But we wish her a safe trip back, and we look forward to having her back on the program on Monday. So that means for all the rest of you that you're just kind of stuck with me today. I've got some great guests coming up today, of course. Sarah Morrison's going to be here, one of our health and fitness experts, a little bit to give us a quick tip about staying fit and active during the day, during the work week. She'll be here, and then Amy Page is going to be here as well to help me recap the action that took place in the NHL last night and the night before as well. So some great action coming up for you. I'm also giving away a Brew Sports t-shirt today as well. Waiting to see, for those of you that don't know that we have these amazing Brew Sports t-shirts, you can get one of these today. I've got a couple of different rules, possible ways to give away the shirt this morning. I'm thinking maybe either best comment or best hashtag or just in general the people that keep the show going and are making it alive this morning. So, like I said, there's a couple of different ways that we might do it this morning. So, giving away a Brew Sports t-shirt for either the best comment or the best hashtag. I mean, technically the hashtag, if you're using a hashtag, it's the comment as well, too. So, take that for what it's worth. But, like I said, no Jamie this morning, but I am Baxter. I'm going to be giving you all the latest and greatest stuff this morning, and I'm going to be joined by Sarah Morrison and Amy Page a little bit later on in the program. Good morning to you, Jeff, on Facebook. Good to hear you this morning, and good to see you as well. If you got any stories for us this morning that you're following in the sports world, love to hear about it. You can drop it in the comment section below here on the Brew Sports Facebook page. Don't forget to hit the share button as well, and we can keep the party rolling right along. I got my coffee this morning. I'm excited. There's a lot going on today. First and foremost, I mean, it is Friday. It doesn't feel like a Friday, at least for me it doesn't. My Wednesday felt like a Friday this week. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but, let me know how your week's been going, too. It'd be great to see what everyone else has got going on as well. A couple of things right off the bat that I want to get to. For those of you that want to talk about the NFL, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I do want to go to one NFL thing right off the bat this morning. If you haven't heard, some of you probably haven't because you don't care about this franchise, at all, basically. But the Detroit Lions got new uniforms. At least that was announced last night that they have these new uniforms. This is courtesy of the Detroit Lions Twitter. You can kind of check them out. Looking fairly similar to some of their older ones. They do have this Color Rush uniform as well, too. Kind of a cool-looking silvery gray sort of thing. It's got lions there on the shoulders. That all blue, very much like the Thanksgiving old-school throwback jerseys is kind of how I've interpreted it, honestly. But they've got the all-white jersey here as well, too. They are paying special homage, if I can speak English, to the man, Mr. Ford, on one of their sleeves. Last couple of years, it's been a patch. Now it's an actual part of the jersey, basically. So kind of a cool thing in that sense to be able to keep their fans excited. I mean, I'm looking through some of the comments here. Just to see how people react, especially to something like this from Detroit. A lot of Packer fans chiming in here, basically, just with gifts of Aaron Rodgers, kind of joking around. One guy, Trevor, says 50 Shades of Slay. I'm not exactly sure if that is a positive thing or a negative thing, but apparently 50 Shades of Slay is a good thing if you are a Detroit Lions fan. I don't necessarily mind the jerseys, but when your colors are like that blue and silver, there's really not a whole lot you can do. They've completely eliminated the black accents that they've had. So I guess if you like that sort of thing, the Detroit Lions, among others, coming up here. Yeah. A couple other people here saying no, I don't really like it. Some people are actually really excited about this. I don't know if they're actually Lions fans or not, but it looks like, I'm going to see here, that somebody actually posted a poll about it. I want to just see, 77% of people, at least, that voted in this poll on Twitter, say that they actually love the new uniform. So there you go, Detroit. You're doing something right, getting the season off to a hot start. Speaking of a hot start, there was a goal that took place in the USL. If people don't know what the USL is, it is a second division here in the American soccer landscape. There was this absolutely unbelievable goal that I wanted to share with you that let's be honest, even if you are a casual soccer fan, you're going to appreciate this. So let me pull this up for you here really fast and take a look at the absolute madness that ensues on this goal. If I can get it. Here we go. Wow. Holy cow. Did you see that? Good Lord. Oh my goodness. Not only, there's a lot of things that went into that goal if you weren't paying attention, but there was a lot of things that go into that goal. I'll show it again here in the background while I'm talking again, but an unbelievable thing. So, I mean, first of all, it's hard enough to do a flip and a throw-in anyway. It's hard to do a normal throw-in anyway, but the fact that this gentleman does a flip throw-in, just an absolute rocket of a ball, that teammate doesn't do a good job of clearing it. Then a bicycle kick to finish. I mean, are you kidding me? That never happens in the soccer world. Sometimes you'll see one or two of those things try to happen, and it never really links up. But the fact that that happened the way it did, holy cow, just an absolutely incredible moment. So an awesome moment there for the OKC Energy, to say the least. One of the other final things I want to get to here this morning during the What's Brewing segment on the Morning Brew is the wonderful world of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unfortunately, they are mourning the loss of longtime majority owner Dan Rooney. After 84 years of life on this earth, Dan unfortunately passed away yesterday. The Rooneys took over operation of the team they've basically been a part of the inception of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but Dan Rooney took ownership of the team back in 1960 from his father, Art, who founded the franchise. From there, Rooney has seen 6 NFL championships for the team that had never played an NFL title game before he previously took over the team. People just absolutely were beside themselves when they heard this news. But a great overall accomplishment from him. Commissioner Roger Goodell came out and said, "Few men have contributed as much to the National Football League as Dan Rooney. A member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he was one of the finest men in the history of the game. It's a privilege to have worked alongside with him for so many years. Dan's legacy will certainly be remembered, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will certainly be keeping his memorabilia, his memorial will be absolutely incredible going forward." Checking comments here on Facebook. Robert says, "Awesome shirt. Crap, I ran out of data." Well, that's never good. Liz says, "Good morning." Good morning to you, Liz. Josh says, "I coached a kid who could do throw-ins like that." Great goal. Yeah, I've seen guys do it in either opposing teams or just in general, people that, I've been watching soccer long enough to see stuff like that, but I've never tried to do it. I've never been much of a front or a back flipper. I think it's cool if you can do it, but I've never been able to do it, but more props to him. If you are just tuning in, a reminder, we are giving away a Brew Sports t-shirt this morning for best comment and or best hashtag. Since I have the house to myself today, since Jamie is off today, I'm giving away free stuff, so that way she can't control my shenanigans, which is probably a good thing, probably a bad thing. I don't necessarily know, depending on who you ask, but we're going to get moving along with the program here in just a minute. But as I mentioned, keep those comments coming this morning. Continue to keep letting us know your thoughts and what stories you're following this morning as well. I know a lot of people are excited about the NHL playoffs, and we're going to talk about that, as I mentioned, a little bit later on in the program with one of our good friends and correspondents. Amy Page is going to be here. But before we get to that, for those of you that know, we've done a couple of these Fitness Friday segments on Brew Sports before. We've had some of our great correspondents joining us, Morgan Brill, Kim Meyer, among others. We get to add to our collection of amazing fitness and health correspondents this morning by bringing in a lady that I respect a great deal and someone that I think does an absolutely amazing amount of work in the health and fitness world. It's a good friend of mine as well, too. It is Sarah Morrison, and she joins us now on the Morning Brew. Sarah, a very good morning to you. And I know that you're based in Michigan. I don't know if you've had the opportunity, we were talking about it earlier, about the Detroit Lions jerseys. Are you a Lions fan first and foremost?
I would go to a Lions game.
You would, but you're not admitting to being a fan, is what I'm hearing, though.
I love movement and fitness, and I don't know if I should confess this or not, but I am so out of the sports world because I married a guy who just wants to hunt and fish and trap. And, I used to have these boyfriends where it was like, we're going to go watch the games and the playoffs, so I would get into it. And now I'm like, I'm a little out of it.
I don't know. I don't blame you one bit about it, honestly. I just was curious. I'm like, hey, you're in Michigan. I might as well ask. I mean, some people that I know that are in Michigan have just been beside themselves with excitement, like, finally, New Jersey. So I don't blame you. So
I'm one of those fans where if like all of a sudden they're doing amazing and I finally get wind of it, I'm like, oh, I want to start watching. So judge me if you want, but that's how it rolls. Yeah. So I'll have to start with New Jersey's.
I guess so. Fair enough. Well, let's get into something that you do know a little bit more about, Sarah. As we mentioned, you are one of our health and fitness experts here on the Brew Sports Network. You've got a Friday fitness tip for us, and I think from what you've told me, something that I think a lot of people need to hone in a little bit more on and sometimes struggle to do during their daily basis. So I'll give the floor to you now. So what do you got for us today?
Okay, well, stop me or interrupt me at any time because I feel like I could probably talk about this forever. But I don't have a fancy workout or some new fat burning tip or anything like that. What I really am passionate about helping people with is to move more throughout their day, because sitting is really the new smoking, meaning it is just as dangerous as we consider smoking. Smoking's well known that like, hey, if you do this, you're probably going to have some health risks because of it later. Sitting is the same. So let me ask you, Baxter, hopefully.
Absolutely. I'm
okay,
here.
I didn't know. I'm like, maybe he's like prepping something during this.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Have you ever seen the movie WALL-E?
The Disney movie WALL-E. Is that what you're? Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
When I saw that movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly like the stuff that I've imagined in my head. Because in that movie, they're moved to another planet because they've wrecked the environment, but they never move anymore. They live in chairs that fly them everywhere, and they completely like become obese, but then also just lose a lot of abilities that our bodies have. So I want to talk about sitting because honestly, like maybe you're doing great at getting your workout in every single day and you're doing great at your nutrition. I have this happen so many times with my clients. They're doing the things that you're supposed to do, but they're not seeing the kind of results that you should expect with this. And it comes down to, let's talk about the rest of your day. Let's look at what the rest of your day looks like. And they're sitting for the majority of your day. So 8 hours of sitting, pretty much if you did an hour workout earlier that day, the 8 hours of sitting, if that's happening in your life, this consistent sitting, you're wiping out all the benefits that 1 hour workout did. That's pretty shocking.
Yeah, that is really shocking, honestly. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'd like to consider myself a pretty active person. I mean, for the most part. I mean, granted, I've also gone on record numerous times on the show saying that I've been the exact same weight since high school, but that's just because of just how my metabolism works, I guess. But that is something at least that I struggle with too. I mean, I'm active, but I mean, I'm also here hosting, 12 hours a day at times or producing, so I'm sitting a majority of my day. I don't have time sometimes to go and, run a couple of miles, but I think I'd like to combat that at least by, at least eating right when I do have my meals throughout the day.
Oh, well, good news, Baxter. I mean, obviously, like, it's so easy. And for me too, like, I love fitness. I usually go run, but I could sit at this desk a lot because a lot of my business that I do is connecting with people online and coaching them through that. And we're going to talk about some things you can do. Step one is to just have self-awareness. And I was thinking, I'm like, maybe a lot of your listeners are driving a lot. A lot of people have jobs where they're in the car all the time. And just get self-aware about your day. Are you sitting for long periods of time? Because that is where the weight gain is going to come. So many times I might meet with someone and just say, what's going on in your life? And they're like, I've gained 30 pounds in the last year. And I was like, hold up, what happened in the last year?
Wow. Yeah.
And usually it's like, oh, I switched jobs. And I've gone from a job where I tended to move a lot more to a job where now I'm sitting for long periods of time. That is going to bring on the weight fast and really steal your momentum and just your zest for life. So step one is have some self-awareness and really take a look at your day and actually get real with, okay, I am sitting for like 2 hours at a time before I get up and move. And generally it's because I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I've been there before, Sarah. I mean, I'll just not to jump in too fast, but like I've done the desk job thing for a couple of years, where literally the only times I would get up during my day is to go to the lunchroom to have my lunch or to go to the bathroom, and other than that, I'm sitting for 5-6 hours at a time, and realizing I leave work at the end of the day just feeling disgusting, basically, because I'm like, well, I didn't do anything all day. I just sat at a desk and stared at a computer. I feel like I've was useless and killed my body for 8 hours today.
Yeah. Steals all your motivation.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to have movement to have motivation. So that's why that's not happening. We burn 3 times more calories simply standing, just standing, than we do sitting. So that alone lets you know, okay, our bodies are meant to move. And so, okay, let's take your desk job, for example, Baxter. So you're at this desk job all day. A great way to start being healthier doesn't involve being able to do 50 push-ups or anything like that. It involves making it a goal to move more. And so what the research is recommending is that we should move every 30 minutes. So if you really want to attack this and rock it, start getting used to on the 30-minute mark and on the hour mark, you get up for a minute. The research is still kind of pending about okay, we know we need to move more about every 30 minutes, but we're not quite sure how long that movement should be. I say if you get up for 30 seconds, if you get up for a minute, that would be awesome. It'd be a stretch at your desk. It could be walking to someone else's desk and just saying hello. Maybe you even start to schedule your day where it's hey, we have a 15-minute break. We're going to go outside for a power walk. You just need to start to incorporate more movement in your day. And if you do that, it's just tweaking some habits. If you do that, you're going to start to feel more amazing and start to look a lot better too.
Talking with Sarah Morrison here on the Morning Brew, talking about some of the health and fitness tips that can help keep you moving throughout the day. Yeah, Sarah, I actually didn't realize as much about that as you had mentioned until I got an Apple Watch, because if anybody that has an Apple Watch, every hour you get a little ding on your wrist basically saying hey, it's time to get up and move, or make sure you hit your stand goal. And I know you can adjust that, but I leave mine at the being able to make sure you stand up for at least whatever it is, not at least once an hour for 12 hours a day kind of a thing to me, to keep you active and fit. And honestly, that's been a huge reminder because I'll lose myself as I'm doing certain work here and there, whatever, at the desk, and then all of a sudden my watch will go off and it's hey, time to stand. I'm oh, right, yeah, I'll do a lap or I'll go run around or do whatever I got to do, basically. But it's good reminders about that. But I wonder too, do you think that people are just getting so lazy in the sense of their fitness that they need these little reminders? I mean, I'm also very busy as well too, so it's nice to get pulled out of my sports world at times to be psst, hey, go do something that doesn't involve staring at a computer screen for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely need these reminders. The Apple Watch is awesome. I have one of those too. And I literally will just stand up at my desk and type. But, we're so busy that it can be oh, I'll skip this 30 minutes to do the next one. And it really is just making it a priority and realizing these little things done consistently are going to add up to big results. Being healthy is not hard. It just takes tweaking is a better word, a few habits. And it's going to, take some conscious effort. And then all of a sudden it's going to be your habit. And it's going to be easy. And you're going to be addicted to how good you feel. So you mentioned the Apple Watch. Some other suggestions for things say you're at work. It could be just standing and doing some stretching. You could ask your employer for a standing desk. Mm-hmm. I feel a lot of employers are definitely doing that a lot more now. You could do some strength work. If you really okay, so say you're at work and you're getting really tired. This definitely happens time to time. You could go over to your wall and just do 10 push-ups, just bounce off the wall. You could do some squats. You could bounce on your toes. So say you're just standing and you just bounce on your toes, you're lifting your heel off the floor, you're a really excited kid. And that is great because it really kind of preps your body for oh, we're about to do something. It wakes you up. It gets everything firing again because when you're sitting, things start to shut down. That makes sense, right? Common sense. Things are going to shut down as you sit and take a break. So that starts to wake everything up. Take the stairs. If you're in a big office building, go to the floor beneath you for the bathroom. Think of ways where you can just move a little bit more and know you're not losing work time. You're actually enhancing your productivity and your health at the same time. You could sit on a Swiss ball. That's going to have you moving all the time. You're going to be rolling around and having fun instead of just sitting in this chair and getting comfy. If you're driving all the time, be that person who's not just standing at the gas pump when you're filling up, but do some reverse lunges, walk around your car. Don't just stand there. That is prime time to get your body firing up. You could go do some on the side of your car. Yeah, I know you can't see me. I'm doing it here, but put your hands on the roof of your car and do some just standing push-ups right there. You're going to invigorate yourself and get your metabolism firing faster. Okay. It's so worth it and it's so easy and people just need to get in the habit of doing it.
Right, and that's what I would agree with you on that one too. I mean, you even reminded me of what I do usually in the shower in the mornings too. I do like that, which you're sitting a little jittery, like jumping like on the balls of your feet, basically, like because it's early when I have to wake up to be here in the mornings, and I'm like, okay, got to move a little bit, got to do something to keep the body moving outside of what I do with my my water and my coffee and stuff that I have in the morning too. But Sarah, we got to let you run, unfortunately, but I appreciate you swinging by. I know that you're very active on the social media side of things. Can people find you on Twitter or Snapchat? Where can they find your if they want to get more health and fitness information?
Yes, Snapchat. I love Snapchat. It's SOSKEY18. But then on Facebook, you can search facebook.com/Sarah Oskey, OSKEY. And I'm always sharing tips over there as well.
You're the best, Sarah. Thank you so much for swinging by this morning. I hope you have a great Friday. And don't forget to go check out those Lions uniforms, too.
I know. I was just thinking that. Thanks for having me back. So everyone have a great day.
Absolutely, Sarah. We'll talk to you soon. There goes Sarah Morrison this morning on The Morning Brew. Great to hear from her, one of the awesome health and fitness experts that we've got on the Brew Sports Network. Give me some of your thoughts, some of your takeaways about anything that Sarah said this morning. Of course, like I said, we are giving away a Brew Sports t-shirt this morning as well for any of you that provide with the best comment or the best hashtag as well, too. If you want to know what the Brew Sports t-shirts look like, there it is in all its great grand glory. It's super soft. It is absolutely amazing. I've had people that have come up to me and be like, I sleep in it every night because it is just so freaking comfy. So get after it. I absolutely understand that. Liz says self-awareness is so important. Yes, I totally agree. And Liz also says, great idea, Sarah. Love the insight tweak, or the slight tweak of habits. And Mallory says, love those tips. So thanks, Liz and Mallory, Josh, Robert, Jeff, everybody else that's tuning in this morning as well. I see you, Sarah, as well, hanging over there. Sarah, I've said nothing mean about baseball so far. So you can. That's probably why Sarah's still watching. Once again, I'm going to go on the record, say I don't hate baseball. I just would prefer to do other things with my time. So for those of you that are trying to get fired up about that, just take it down a notch, okay? Just relax, take it down a notch. No reason to get fired up. If you haven't heard this morning, Jamie is not here with us this morning. If you're just tuning in, I'll even prove it to you. See, look, no Jamie. She's not here. Sad day. Should really get like a bobblehead or a cardboard cutout for the days that Jamie's not here. So that way we can just, continue on with the life the way it is, basically. But you know what? Let's talk about some of the other things that are going on in the sports world. I want to talk about the interesting world of Eli Manning. And for those that have not heard about this, Eli Manning is apparently being investigated. He's being accused of memorabilia fraud in a new set of court documents. Now, this is very strange, honestly. You look at what he's done in his career. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's beaten Tom Brady, one of the only people that can claim that he's done something this monumental and this amazing. But apparently, Eli Manning has been turned over a potentially incriminating email earlier this month in connection with a lawsuit that claims that the Giants quarterback and team equipment manager knowingly provided false game-worn memorabilia to collectors. Now, there's still a lot of legal stuff that has to get figured out. I'm not even going to try to get into that. I just want to know your thoughts and your general reaction when you hear something like this. A man like Eli Manning, the Mannings, to my knowledge, have never had an issue, never really even, killed a fly, basically, just because they're such nice people. But how do you react to hearing something like this? My first thought was a little surprising, and I honestly thought it was a mix-up because I'm like, Eli Manning, why would he? I mean, granted, yes, it's false. If it is actually true, the false game-worn memorabilia, according to ESPN.com and a couple others, would be a little surprising, honestly, and maybe put a little chink in the armor that is Eli Manning's amazing career. But I want to know just that your initial raw reaction when you hear something like this. I was surprised. I was a little bewildered, honestly, and I didn't think it was true when I first heard it. I was like, okay, that can't possibly be the absolute truth. I mean, because it's Eli Manning, the Manning family. Like I said, has never really done anything mean. Peyton has had an outstanding long career on and off the field. Never really gotten into any trouble. Even to my knowledge, Archie was a pretty good guy back in the day as well too. So let me know your thoughts about this Eli Manning thing. As I mentioned, he apparently is being accused of potentially about knowingly providing false game-worn memorabilia to collectors. The lawyers of Brooke, Peed, and Clinton are all trying to figure this out, among others. The New York Post is after it as well, too. There is a trial that is scheduled for September 25th. The lawsuit also claims that other fake items, including one described as game-worn used from Manning, Osa Umenyiora, and Tiki Barber as well, were also provided. So as we mentioned, we will keep an eye on this story and give you more information about it as we move along. One other thing in the NFL world before we get to Amy Page here in just a little bit. Amy Page is going to be doing our NHL coverage with us this morning, so I'm excited to bring her on here in just a little while. One other thing that I found the other day as I was searching the interwebs is this article that came out from ESPN.com as well, from Michael DeRocco. If you haven't heard about this, Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Telvin Smith has some very harsh words for NFL players that charge youth to attend their youth football camps. His quote is perfect. It says, "Y'all suckers." I mean, so y'all are suckers, apparently. You are... it's an interesting quote in the sense that he is saying that he doesn't feel that people should be charging, NFL players should not be charging for their youth camps that they do for kids. And ultimately, he says that players who do charge a fee, even a nominal one, have lost their touch with what is called the humble gratitude that has allowed them to reach the NFL. And I think that's the absolute truth. How many times, and parents, if you're out there watching, or siblings, if you, or anybody as a whole, if you ever had that opportunity to go to something like a youth camp back in the day, and you were experiencing, I mean, you had to pay. You always had to pay just an absolutely crazy amount of money usually to go. I mean, that's why I didn't play select soccer growing up, just because it was so expensive. But you would go to those camps. I was fortunate enough to go to a couple of like European soccer camps here in the United States, where coaches and players would come over and train you for a week basically. And those guys have risen up. They've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. Very rarely do you see somebody that is playing professional sports that had a good upbringing. It was the people that struggled to get through their poor childhoods, their single-parent families, the living with their grandma, living on the street like Donald Driver did, living in a car. Those are the people that ultimately have the drive and the determination to get to the next level and ultimately do become so successful. So then when you see those players that then don't reciprocate what they learned and what they had to go through to these younger generation, it's basically saying that they didn't care at all about the upbringing that they went through. And I think the fact that Telvin Smith of the Jaguars is doing exactly the right thing by coming out and saying that, he thinks that people should not charge for something like this. I completely agree. There's no reason you should. You make millions of dollars a year, even as a bench player, and you're still charging kids a couple of $100 likely to come get a T-shirt and what? To learn from you, an NFL player? Like, I don't understand. You need to know the fact that you are giving back to these kids, and you are setting something that you're setting an example, a poor example for people, and I just absolutely do not agree with this. People, a couple of more quotes here from Smith. He says, "I keep saying robbing these kids because I feel that's what you're doing," he told ESPN. He said, "We're in the NFL. We're in a multi-billion-dollar corporation." See, Smith agreeing with me on this one. He says, "You can write off on your taxes, but you're charging these kids? There's no part of it that's right. Your heart's not in the right direction when you're doing that." And I completely agree with you on that one, Telvin Smith. One of the very few things Jacksonville Jaguar players and organizations as a whole have done right. And it just doesn't make sense. These camps should be free, Smith said, because NFL players can apply for $1,000 to up to $4,000 worth of grants from the National Football League Foundation to help fund their camps. You don't need to be charging Bob Smith and Sally Lou there $300 for an afternoon. You just don't do that. You bring these kids and you show them that you as an NFL supporter are capable of doing something. You as an NFL player are capable of being able to really just have fun. Just have fun with it. Don't make this a bigger deal than it absolutely needs to be, honestly. I just completely am against this, and it just really frustrates me, the fact that this is something that NFL players, you see a lot of basketball players do that sometimes too, but I mean, you see then on the flip side, guys like LeBron James too, that do so many different charitable works for people, and that really is the ultimate thing in this, is that you're being able to give back, because so many of these people have risen up from their negativity. That's my little rant. That's my little 2 cents about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it as well here on Facebook. Checking the comments section this morning, seeing what we got going on. Mallory says, I think if they charge a fee, it should be donated to a good cause and give it back to the community. I completely agree with you on that one, Mallory. Liz also says, love those rags to riches stories. Yes, exactly. That's the big thing about all of this is that these players, before they were professionals, they were not all. I don't want to say that every single person that's played professional sports started off in this raggedy, wretched life. That's not the case. I know numerous people that are playing at the pro level that have had great childhoods. It's not a prereq to be a professional athlete to come from a single parent home or to have worked 5 jobs in high school to help pay the bills. That's not a prereq to do this. But those guys and gals that are able to give back to their communities is what is so important and what is still so lacking in our country nowadays. It's something that people need to get on the board with, and they need to get more support going out for it. So I'm hoping that more people really hone in on this and we're able to actually step forward in all of this as well too. So I'm being told by our producers that Amy is unavailable, at least at the moment, so we're going to keep trying to get a hold of her in just a little bit. So we're going to just dive right into the hockey world because me talking hockey sounds like a great idea because you have no idea what's going to happen. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to look at the games that took place last night. We're going to continue to try to get Amy on the phone and see if we can't figure something out with her. And then we're going to go from there, basically. Sound good? Good, because that's what we're going to do. And like I said, Lord willing, the producers that are sending me messages here will hopefully get a hold of Amy in just a little bit. They said they're still trying. So looking at the scores from last night, a surprise finish for me personally. Of course, as we mentioned, Jamie was at the Predators-Blackhawks game last night. Nashville scoring in the very first period, just about 6 or 7 minutes into the game, holding on and beating the Blackhawks in Chicago 1-0. What an absolute ridiculous game, going 3 periods. 3 periods is scoreless for the Chicago Blackhawks. This is a team that many people are saying is going to be the Stanley Cup champion, and I get it. It's day one. It's game one, and this is this is just my overall immediate raw reaction. I mean, Chicago dominated this game left and right for the most part. I mean, they had 29 total shots. They did have 13 giveaways, though, which is ultimately going to be a huge issue. But they won 31 faceoffs last night as well, too. If you dominate that many categories, chances are you're going to be able to win the game at the end of the day. And the fact that they didn't end up winning the game still very much surprises me, honestly, that Chicago now is going to have to check themselves. And I'm even looking across the board here at some of the people that were taking shots last night. I mean, where are your big guys here when you're looking across the board? No Patrick Kane, of course, obviously. Patrick Kane. He did have 6 total shots last night on goal, so it was not without his contribution. He did play 24 minutes last night, but Jonathan Toews as well too. He didn't have a single shot on goal last night. He did play 24 minutes as well. So just kind of a very dismal, surprising performance, honestly, from the Chicago Blackhawks last night. You'd like to expect better, in all honesty, going into such a big game like this. It surprises me, honestly. It really does. Looking across at the other games, the Maple Leafs and Capitals, I honestly was surprised by this. Toronto jumped out to a 2-goal advantage right off the bat, and then Washington was able to fly back thanks to 2 goals from Williams and Wilson as well, too. Sounds like a law firm, Williams and Wilson. But 2 goals coming last night from Justin Williams, and then you also had a goal, the final goal in overtime from Tom Wilson, unassisted, to put it away. This game was destined to be a Washington Capitals victory. And when Toronto came out and was up 2-1 after the first period, I was a little surprised by this personally. I don't know how many people watched the game last night. If you did, comment below. I'd love to hear if you checked this game out last night. But I was very shocked because I wasn't able to catch the game last night, but I was watching closely via my phone, via a couple of different apps that I use, and seeing the surprises on people's faces and the social media interactions and reactions to this stuff was just really surprising to me personally, because so many people were like, this is Toronto. Like, why are they holding the Capitals right now to a 2-1 lead and then ultimately pushing them all the way to overtime? Granted, yes, they did blow the lead. They blew it. They were up 2-1 and then ultimately ended up giving 2 goals away at the very end. So not what you wanted. If you watched any of the show yesterday, you know that Jamie and I really don't care for the Calgary-Anaheim series. That's the word I'm looking for, just because there's not much going on. Like, it's two teams that no one's really going to care too much about. Anaheim did get the 3-2 victory last night. Ryan Getzlaf scoring a couple of goals. He did get one goal, and then where would the other goals come from? So you got a goal from Getzlaf. You got a goal from Monahan as well, too, coming from the Flames. So it was 1-1 after the first period. Going into the second period, then Getzlaf assisted on a Reichel goal, and then Jacob Silfverberg, I'm going to probably have to butcher that a little bit, unfortunately, papped it off there with that third goal. Sam Bennett also got a goal in the second, and then the two teams kind of just went at each other after that. But final box scores here in terms of the shots to Anaheim had 41 shots last night, and 32 of those coming from Calgary as well, too. But Calgary held their own in this one, but the big key to controlling possession in a hockey game is winning the faceoffs. Anaheim won 49 faceoffs last night. Calgary only 29. Just not good. Not good at all if you want to be successful in the National Hockey League come playoff time. So there's new games, of course, taking place over the weekend. As we mentioned, Jamie was at the Predators-Blackhawks game last night. We'll have to get her thoughts and feelings about that on Monday. 4 games taking place tonight. Rangers, Canadiens. You've got the Blue Jackets, Penguins. Penguins lead that series 1-0. Rangers lead their series 1-0. The Wild and the Blues take up tonight on NBC Sports Network. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Blues have a 1-0 lead in that series. And then the Oilers and the Sharks with San Jose holding a 1-0 lead on Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. That game at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on NBC Sports Network as well. If you have comments about the games taking place tonight, let me know. As I mentioned, I still have a couple more minutes that I'm going to keep the comments open for those that want the Brew Sports t-shirt. I'm looking for some good comments, looking for the best possible hashtag as well, too. As we mentioned as well, too, about this morning of the fact that Jamie is not here this morning. What I would like to hear from you and see from you is reasons why you think Jamie is not here this morning. I mean, I told you in the beginning of the show if you're watching, but if you're just tuning in, Jamie's not here this morning. I'll even show you the set again. Boom, see, look, no Jamie. Oh, sad day for Jamie. But I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, there's an easy answer why she's not here this morning, but I want to know your thoughts of tying and bringing in the story of she was in Chicago last night, went to the Predators Blackhawks game. Now she's not able to be here this morning. So what do you think happened to Jamie? Why is she not here this morning? Craziest answer wins the Brew Sports t-shirt, and maybe the best comment as well, too, which, I mean, obviously go hand in hand. So let me know, predict what happened to Jamie, our beloved Jamie_Evers on Twitter, if you are around this morning and want to play the game with us. So it's great to see all these great people chiming in here as well, too. Jeff, Sarah, Mallory, Liz, Josh, Robert, among others as well, too. It was Robert's birthday yesterday from what I heard, so a late happy birthday to you, Robert. Hope your day went well. Here's one other thing I wanted to talk about before we go this morning is, before we get to Flashback Friday, because, of course, it is Friday. We have to flash back. We have to look at the world that was and Baxter Colburn's life, apparently, because what we do is we flash back to our lives on this day in Facebook history, but also things that we talked about earlier on in the week as well, too. So I will make sure to pull my things up here in just a moment as we move along with the program. But looking back here, one other story, and I'm going to take a sip of coffee because I've been talking a lot. Sorry. Sometimes when you have to talk the entire show, it's actually very difficult to drink your coffee. So I've been longingly gazing at my coffee the entire show, just being like, I see you over there, but I have nobody else here to talk to, so I can't drink you. But I'll get to you someday. So sometimes you just have to just take those self-imposed, like, hey, 2-second water break, and then you can move on with life. All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr., for those of you that know who that gentleman is, a phenomenal all-star in the wide world of NASCAR. I mean, they don't really call them all-stars, but a Hall of Famer, a best of ever, however you want to describe him, Dale Earnhardt Jr. You hear these stories about NFL and NBA and other players saying that they won't let their kids play the sport that they're playing. And, you know, they don't want them to play professionally. A lot of NFL players, I mean, Brett Favre came out recently saying that he doesn't want his kids to play professional football. He doesn't want his kids to play football. I mean, you hear Von Miller, J.J. Watt, these guys that, traditionally just basically kill people for a living on the football field, saying that they don't want their kids to participate in the sport like football because they think it's too dangerous. And the only reason they're doing it right now is because they didn't know the information that we all know now about brain disease and all the numerous injuries when kids like them were growing up. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. has actually come out this week, not necessarily on the side of safety, but on the side of cost. He says that despite his legendary father, Dale Earnhardt, who, God rest his soul, passed away on the NASCAR track that fateful many a year ago, he said that he does not want his children racing because he thinks it's too expensive. He said he would really prefer the kids to avoid the family business, which is kind of surprising because when you have this dynasty, you think of, why not keep it going? Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm assuming their kids aren't named Dale. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. was talking about the Dale Earnhardt Jr. or was talking on the Dale Jr. Download podcast the other day, and here's a direct quote. Talking with his wife, Amy. Dale said, "It's hard for me. I'll just say this. I definitely will not push that on them at all. I'd rather them probably not be race car drivers." And Amy said, "Why?" And Dale said, "It's freaking expensive." And Amy said, "What did you pay for a race car driver? Or what did you pay to be a race car driver?" And Dale said, "My dad paid a lot. I think I would be super proud of them if that's what they wanted to do." So he's not saying he doesn't want them to do it, but at the same time, he would prefer that they do something else that doesn't involve so much money. Because let's be honest, if you're a NASCAR driver, you do have to pay for your own car. You have to pay. There's a lot of things that go into it. Granted, when you have the Earnhardt Jr. brand behind you, it makes life so much easier to basically do whatever you want. That's for sure. A couple of people here chiming in on Facebook. Jeff says, "Drink, Baxter." Well, it's not beer, Jeff. So, but if you tell me to drink, I will have some coffee. You guys missed it earlier, too, thankfully, when Sarah Morrison, one of our health and fitness experts, was on the show earlier in the day. And she was, when the camera was cut to her, I decided, I'm like, oh, now's going to be a good time to take a drink of my coffee. Not realizing that I had, just poured my coffee all of a minute before going on the show. And it was still insanely hot, and I almost cried because when I took a big sip because I'm like, I don't know how much time I'm going to get an opportunity to do this. So I took a quick sip, and it just wasn't pretty. So the inside of my mouth is basically completely wrecked now. No, it's not that bad, but it was just one of those moments where you take a quick sip of hot coffee and you're just like, ah! That's basically what it was. Josh says, #lonely Baxter. Yes, Josh, absolutely true. And Jeff wants to know if Jamie was on the kiss cam at the game. I can neither confirm nor deny such a thing. If she was on the kiss cam, I'm happy to check out her Snapchat, though, and see if she was. Good to see you, Matt, this morning chiming in. Good to see you, Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Jeff also, the other Jeff with a G, not Jeff with a J. But let's take a quick gander real fast here at let's see if Jamie had anything on her Snapchat that would allude to her being on the kiss cam. She was there with some friends last night, all females to my knowledge, but she was there with one of her friends, has a really, really adorable little baby. So I could see how she may have got on the kiss cam for kissing the little baby, but I'm actually not seeing anything from her last night. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. Looks like walking up to the stadium, inside the stadium, playing past the baby. Super excited that the Predators won. That's it. So she wasn't on the kiss cam, at least according to her Snapchat. So we'll have to ask her on Monday if she got on the kiss cam, because of course, when it comes to Jamie Evers, we are still trying to hook her up with Mr. Right that's out there. Quick reminder, show is almost done. Still looking for the best comment and looking for your thoughts of what you thought Jamie was doing last night on her way home from the Blackhawks-Predators game. Best comment and or best hashtag, or just if I like you, is going to get a Brew Sports t-shirt courtesy of Brew Sports in the Morning Brew. So I would love to get that out to you guys. Don't forget to like us on Facebook as well, too. Tell your friends about us as well. Only a couple minutes left to go here in the show, but I wanted to reiterate the fact of if anybody has any questions about the sports world as in general that you want to get an opinion on, or just what stories you're following this morning too. It's always great to hear from you guys as well. Kind of looking through the last little bit of my notes here. It is time to get into Flashback Friday, where we talk about things that took place earlier in the week. We flash back to things that took place earlier in the sports world, just to kind of put a nice little bow on the week. Kind of going through the days really fast. Monday, we had Caleb Pearson here to recap the Masters. Sergio Garcia winning it in a playoff with Justin Rose, and absolutely a monumental occasion for Sergio. However, if you watched Happy Hour last night, Barry Nelson and Charlie O'Donnell were on talking about if they think Sergio Garcia is a sore loser. And then they were also talking about sore losers in sports last night, so you can find that on our website, brewsportsnet.com, YouTube, to search for Brew Sports and search for Happy Hour, are also here on Facebook as well, too. Just go back to the old posts and take a look on that one. Tuesday, we were talking about how the NFL preseason schedule was released. Buster Posey getting drilled in the head as well, too. Buster, get better soon. I'm sure he's doing a lot better now. Wednesday, we talked about the Minnesota Timberwolves getting their new logo that came out as well. And the Cubs getting their 108 diamond rings. My gosh. They don't really look that great, honestly. If you haven't seen them, I know we didn't show this, at least on this show yesterday. I actually have a picture of the rings. If you have yet to see them, and because some of you were, like I said, some of you were able to catch them yesterday, so I'm going to pop this up here on the screen right now in just a moment if I can push the right buttons. There we go. So here is the Chicago Cubs championship ring in all its glory, in all its 108 ring glory. Do you like it? I don't know if I do. I said this yesterday. It seems a lot more boring than I was hoping for. I mean, yes, they've got the Fly the W on there. You've got the World Series trophy on there as well, too. But I don't think I'm honestly about that, honestly. I think it could have been so much better, personally. I mean, you haven't won a championship in 108 years, and that's the ring you come up with? I mean, they've got, like, the official time on the inside of the ring of, like, when they officially won. They've got the goat on the inside as well, too, to symbolize all the craziness that goes on. I'm surprised they don't have Bill Murray's face on the inside as well, too, based off of how important and crucial he was to them rallying the troops, when everything that he was doing. Allison says, hashtag snuggling that baby. Probably a very good point, Allison, about that one where Jamie is this morning. We appreciate you chiming in this morning. Josh also said it's like a disco ball for your hand. It kind of is. Like, I want to go to the club on Friday night with the Chicago Cubs ring on and be like, hey DJ, and hold my hand out and be like, just get me a spotlight right here, and people like you have your own walking light show. But how heavy is 108? I think there's 203 total diamonds, something like that. I forget what Charlie said last night on the show, but I think something like that, some 203, 207. Way more diamonds than I'm ever going to own in my life. I mean, you can buy a fan replica as well of these rings for a small amount of $10,000 if you really want to. And Charlie asked that question last night too in Happy Hour. He said, would you buy a ring? He's like, if you've been waiting 108 years for this, if you've been a lifelong Cubs fan, would you spend the $10,000 to get a replica ring? And Barry and even me offset, I was like, nope, no chance. Even if, God forbid, I mean, this hasn't happened, but, if the Packers hadn't won a Super Bowl and eons, which is not true. It's only been 6 years, but it feels like an eternity. Side topic. I wouldn't buy a Super Bowl ring. I mean, good for them. I mean that's exciting, but they've earned it. Those guys get the rings. Me as a fan, I'm not sitting here at home going oh, thank you, God, now I can finally die in peace. It's not going to happen, guys. How many people were begging and praying and hoping that their team was going to win the championship before they pass away, or if they win this year, I promise I'll start going to church, or I promise I'll start losing weight. Guys, it's sports. Stop trying to figure it out. I don't understand it. I'm just here with you every morning just because I enjoy talking about it and love the storylines that go with it. But nobody understands sports. I don't. Jamie doesn't. Tanner. We know Tanner doesn't. But, come on, guys. Stop trying to diagnose the sports world because it just doesn't make sense. It's just not going to happen. Fair enough? Good? All right, great. Looking back on this day in the sports history world, and just in general in my life as we flash back, as you remember, both myself and Jamie usually go back in time to see if we did anything funny or enjoyable on this day. Not really a whole lot, honestly, for me on this day. Apparently, let's see here, 8 years ago, I was playing the piano. Very nice. And I also got my first call from a college recruiter today as well, too, back 8 years ago. And then also had the opportunity to buy a 2010 World Cup magazine back 7 years ago. It's freaking sweet with a smiley face, apparently. So that's Baxter Colburn. I'd love to hear Jamie's because she always has and of course, 5 years ago, jazz music is the best to fall asleep to. That's a true statement. All right, folks, this has been a fun time. I'm going to have to pick a comment to win now, don't I? Since I said I had to pick a comment to win. Let's see here. Boy, oh boy, looking through the comments here. Mallory saying, love those tips. I think if they charge a fee, it should be donated to a good cause or back to the community. Allison said, hashtag snuggling that baby. Jeff said, hashtag lonely Baxter. I'm going to give this shirt to Josh, actually, because Josh has been a phenomenal supporter of Brew Sports, actually, the last couple of weeks. So, Josh, congratulations to you. You are the official winner of a Brew Sports t-shirt. Send me a message on Facebook or tweet at me at Baxter Colburn on Twitter, and we will get you hooked up with a shirt, size, etc. So thanks for watching and for commenting this morning as well, too. The hashtag Lonely Baxter winning this morning. But also, Josh, your comment as well, it's like a disco ball for your hand. Absolutely agree with you on that one. So that's everything, folks. That's it. Made it through. Made it through the morning brew. No Jamie. It was fun. Sarah Morrison was here earlier giving us some great fitness tips. If you want to go back and watch any of the show, we encourage you to find it here on our Facebook page, here on Brew Sports. Tell your friends about it. Hit that share button as well, too. Don't forget to also go to our website as well, brewsportsnet.com. You can follow us on all forms of social media. There is really not a bad thing that you can do out there when it comes to Brew Sports. On Twitter, on Instagram, at brewsportsnet. You can find me at Baxter Colburn. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow is the 70th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball as well. So happy Jackie Robinson Day. I hope you all have a very blessed Easter as well. From my family to yours, from all of us here at Brew Sports, this has been The Morning Brew. We'll see you back here on Monday at 7 a.m. Central Time. You will be able to get one more show today as well. Halftime with myself and Tanner Burke at 11 a.m. Central Time is coming up. Do not miss it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Brew Sports and on The Morning Brew. Enjoy your day, everyone.